Trial locally will be run by doctors from Children's Healthcare of Atlanta behind me, as well as Emory University, using Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. The trial is open to children from 6 months up to 12 years old, using the same vaccine from Moderna already authorized and used for adults. Dr. Evan Anderson of Children's and Emory University will oversee the trial site. In a statement, he wrote, "This is a critical step for children, which could make it possible for them to receive the same type of immune protection now provided to adults. And the emergence of viral variants makes it even more imperative to help protect our children." Moderna plans to enroll more than 6,000 children aged 6 months up to 12 years old at trial sites. Details of how many will be enrolled in Atlanta have not been released. To qualify, children only must fall within those ages and be in good health. They will be disqualified if they have already been vaccinated, are currently taking any COVID-19 treatments, test positive for the virus, or are in contact with a person who's infected within 2 weeks of their vaccination date, or have participated in another vaccine trial in the past month. Children will receive 2 injections of either the vaccine or a placebo about 28 days apart. They will then be monitored, needing to return up to 6 times for check-ins and have telemedicine visits after each shot and monthly telemedicine visits to monitor for symptoms. Parents will also need to use a smartphone diary app to note any symptoms. And back in December, Moderna started a similar trial for children between the ages of 12 and 17. Parents interested in this latest trial are asked to contact the Emory Children's Center. We have a link for the contact information you need inside this story right now on 11alive.com.